have been referred to as witnesses by the agency be enough to arrest him. In fact, Kejriwal went on to accuse the Enforcement Directorate of deliberately trying to frame him in this case. He said the Enforcement Directorate's intention is to frame him. मुझे फंसाना चाहते हैं, मेरे खिलाफ statement दिलवाया है. That is the argument that Arvind Kejriwal has made in person before the court, and also as the Aam Aadmi Party has been asking from the time he was arrested, where is the money trail? Where are the crime proceeds? Where did this money really go? If you believe that we indeed took bribes to the tune of 100 crore rupees. My colleague Brijesh Pandey joining us with more at this point in time. Of course, Brijesh, it's very unusual for an accused to directly address the court. There was a team of lawyers representing the Chief Minister, but he chose to get up and defend himself in person before the judge, essentially not only questioning the evidence that's been submitted by the Enforcement Directorate, saying it's far from enough to justify the arrest and incarceration of a sitting Chief Minister, but going as far as to accuse the Enforcement Directorate of a witch hunt, saying they want to falsely implicate me in this case.
Well, Neha, usually the saying goes that, as a lawyer, you should not seek your advice or appear in your own case, and as a doctor, you should not prescribe medicines for yourself. But then Kejriwal is not your run-of-mill politician. He has understood that he has been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. He understands the elections are around the corner, and there's all kind of narratives are being pushed to put down the Aam Aadmi Party. And this is the reason why he has decided to attack Enforcement Directorate, and this is the reason why earlier when his petitions were submitted, when it was told to the court that he wants to make a submission in person, it didn't surprise many, and today he's doing exactly the same. That he's trying to repeat, basically he's not addressing the court, he is addressing his constituency of how systematically he is being framed by the Enforcement Directorate when he says that 25,000 papers have been submitted by the Enforcement Directorate, and 4 statements, I mentioned in only 4 statements given by people who were earlier accused and now turned approvers. He goes on to say that people's statements are being taken till they name me. Gave a couple of examples in which 7 to 8 statements have been taken till they took the name of name of Arvind Kejriwal. He went on to make the example of Ashat Reddy. He said that he has given 50 crore as electoral bonds to the Bharatiya Janata Party. I am not seeking remand for myself or any leniency for myself. I just want to know why this is not being investigated by the Enforcement Directorate as well. ASG objected to it, saying that all this is on record, but this was the point which Kejriwal wanted to make. He's not addressing the court, he's addressing his constituency, his voters, his cadres, that he will not buckle down under this remand which has been sought by the Enforcement Directorate. Remember, the judge, Rao's Avenue Court judge, twice asked him that whatever you have given, whatever you are saying can be given in writing, but he said that, my lord, please let me speak. I really wanted to say this. So it's a quintessential, Arvind Kejriwal fighting against, trying to project himself as someone, who is fighting against the system and how the entire system is rigged against him and all. So he's giving a chronicle of what all are the allegations against him, how he was not named like till 3 months back, and now all of a sudden he's being made or portrayed as kingpin, whereas others who are actually involved in it are allowing or being let go just because they're paying money or bribe to another political party. Neha?
Before we discuss this court drama in greater detail, Brijesh, if I could just ask you, Kejriwal's wife, Sunita Kejriwal, has made a couple of video statements in the last few days on behalf of her jailed husband, saying that Kejriwal is about to make a big revelation with regard to this, liquor policy case. And now Kejriwal has made certain statements in the courtroom. Do we have more details at this point in time of what exactly Arvind Kejriwal wants to say or tell the people of the country or the court for that matter when he says that the real scam is actually yet to be revealed and he wants to make an expose?
Well, Neha, the thing is that, what we have been given to understand, or what is the, going by what Kejriwal is speaking, I think, Sharad Reddy, a point which has been emphasized by almost all the top leadership of Aam Aadmi Party, is something which Kejriwal wanted to reinforce in the court of law. He wanted to say that, this is the person who has made a statement against me. This is a person, who was arrested by the ED, and all of a sudden when he started making payments and, bribes, he was allowed to let go of. And, there was it was told that, his back is having a problem, and the ED said that they have no objection in him seeking bail. So he's saying that, the Enforcement Directorate has been given a task to finish off Aam Aadmi Party. They want to implicate me by hook or by crook, and going by the way that people are pressurized till they make a statement in which I have been named as the king of conspiracy or the main key conspirator of this entire case. Till they are not, by that time, they are not allowed to go. So basically, this is the point which he wanted to make inside the court. It will be very interesting to see, how the judge thinks of it, because, twice or thrice he said that give me all of these, all of what you're saying can be given to me in writing. But, Kejriwal understood that he will not get many chances to speak, and that is the reason why in person he's reiterating the entire sequence of events, the kind of allegations which have been leveled against couple of people, who were involved in the ED's this liquor scam, and later subsequently were given relief by granting them bail. So he wants to reinforce those points to his constituency, saying that, so that the punchline has to be made, because other than that, when you are in ED custody, the only time you get to meet media persons and all is when you are being brought to court or when you are taken out of court. All those can be sanitized by the police, but this here the police cannot stop him from speaking what he wants to speak. So until unless the judge says that, I don't want to hear you, and please give me all of this submission in writing. So it's a very careful, very clever political ploy by sitting Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Yeah.
Well, one has to give it to Arvind Kejriwal, the irrepressible politician that he is. Not only has he managed to create a fair bit of drama by directly addressing the court instead of just letting the lawyers do the work for him, he also managed to give a soundbite, Brijesh, to journalists there on his way to the courtroom, saying Delhi ki janta inko sabak sikhayegi, the people of Delhi will teach these people a lesson. So he's managed to make a political statement not just inside the courtroom but also that brief statement just outside the courtroom. But coming back to this so-called revelation that Arvind Kejriwal has made, just to put it into perspective for our viewers, Brijesh, Arvind Kejriwal gets up in court and says, Sharad Reddy donated 55 crore to the BJP. I have evidence, मेरे पास सबूत है कि ये रैकेट चल रहा है. A money trail has been established. This man donated 55 crore to the BJP after being arrested. Arvind Kejriwal making the point, this is the real scam. And as far as I am concerned, as far as my party is concerned, there is no money trail. Where did the liquor scam money go is the question he is asking directly of the Enforcement Directorate in court.
Well, it's indeed a very interesting aspect of this entire Delhi liquor scam case. The fact that, ED till now has not been able to recover an amount of money, which can be substantiated parallel to the amount which is being claimed has been given by given in form of bribe by the Southern Cartel to Aam Aadmi Party and all. This is really coming as something which is very, very interesting, and it'll be very interesting to see how this pans out, because Arvind Kejriwal, as you said, that rightly said that, when he entered the court, he made a statement that all of this is politically motivated against me, and people of Delhi will give a befitting reply to these people. But inside court, he's making out all those arguments, because a lawyer makes a very cut out, dried argument, laced with legalese, which is not comprehensible to normal people unless you attend court or you are a lawyer yourself. But when Arvind Kejriwal speaks, herein comes the person who understands what is being said and who knows how to communicate with people at large, and that is the reason why he's communicating to the judge, but his real intended audience is his cadres outside the court. And this also gives a fillip to his cadre that that the leader is not going to go down without a fight, and that motivates the cadre. I think the broad point which he wanted to make was this about Sharad Reddy, about how 50 crores were paid in order to seek relief, and how ED is trying to finish off. So all those points which have been made by various Aam Aadmi Party leaders, but once again reinforced by Arvind Kejriwal himself, because as we said, that he can make a couple of statements on his way to court or on his way out, but nothing more than that. Right now he is having a proper audience inside the court, and he's getting to speak his mind on this issue.
Absolutely. And he's made in a sense, two sets of arguments. He's made some legal arguments, but more than that, he's made some political statements, Brijesh. Arvind Kejriwal says, where are the crime proceeds? If you claim that I have taken money, my party has taken money to the tune of 100 crore, where did that money go? You've not established a money trail. He also says, how can the statements given by 4 individuals that the ED calls witnesses be enough to justify the incarceration of a sitting chief minister? Those are really the legal grounds on which he's questioned his arrest. And he then goes on to make a political statement saying that the BJP-led central government is carrying out a political witch hunt, and the enforcement directorate is acting at the behest of the centre, and their primary motive is to crush the Aam Aadmi Party. Those are a series of allegations that he's levelled against the BJP, the central government and the agency itself. What can we expect from today's court proceedings, Brijesh? Correct me if I'm wrong, the 7-day custody that the court had earlier granted to the Enforcement Directorate comes to an end today. Now they have sought Kejriwal's custody for another 7 days, saying that 1, he is not cooperating with them, and 2, they need to interrogate him in custody for another week. Is that what the ED is demanding, and are we likely to get an order from the court today itself?
Well, this is what ED is asking, because under the law, the police or the investigative agency can ask for 14 for custody till 14 days or some more if they have solid proof against the person concerned, or they have to make the person join investigation, or make him confront the other side who's making the statement and all. So normally we see that any investigative agency who wants to get they get custody of up to 14 days. So ED is not out of place when they are demanding another 7 days of custody, because they say that he's not cooperating with the ED, which is a slightly strange thing personally if you ask me, because cooperating means implicating oneself, and that doesn't go down well as far as the law of the land is concerned. But other than that, they're also saying that that they'll have to confront Arvind Kejriwal with other persons and the statement which has been made by them. So ED is giving them giving these grounds. They're saying that we are here to get the ITRs, we are here to get the entire digital load of what they have captured during the raid they carried out at when they arrested Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. So this is the argument of the Enforcement Directorate. It will be very interesting to see whether court gives relief to some sort of relief to Arvind Kejriwal by not extending, or whether court goes by what the ED is seeking and give them another 7 days of custody. I think the court will decide the matter one way or another by the end of the day itself.
Okay, yeah. So we are hearing the order has been reserved. Arguments have been heard by the court by both sides, Brijesh, and an order is expected before the end of day. Now, technically, there are 3 possibilities. Number 1, the ED's request is granted by the court, and Arvind Kejriwal is sent into ED custody for another week. The second possibility is Arvind Kejriwal being sent to judicial custody, with the court taking the view that the ED has had enough time to interrogate him. And of course, the third possibility, which legal experts say is a remote one, is that Arvind Kejriwal gets bail. Because going by past precedents, it is very, very, very difficult to get bail in money laundering cases.
No. See, the point which you have to understand is that this time they are not asking for bail. the remit of the question is whether the ED gets custody or not. So if ED doesn't get custody, Arvind Kejriwal will be sent to judicial custody, and once he's sent to judicial custody, it is also a testimony that ED doesn't have either more to ask, or the court feels that that the ED doesn't have the ED doesn't need the custody of Arvind Kejriwal. So I think if he's sent to judicial custody like K. Kavita was, then again he becomes entitled for bail, and he will immediately file a bail application. And mind you, there is also already a petition which is there in Delhi High Court where the ED has to submit its reply by 2nd of April, in which interim relief has been sought by Arvind Kejriwal, and on 3rd of April a decision has to be taken by Delhi High Court on whether they are going to provide any kind of interim relief or not. But right now, I think today as we speak, there are only two options. One option is either ED gets custody or Arvind Kejriwal is sent to judicial custody, and once he is sent to judicial custody, I think he will immediately apply for bail or regular bail or some sort of relief from the court, saying that now ED doesn't need anything or doesn't need me for any cross verification or any further establishment of money trail as they are claiming. So I think it will be some sort of a relief for Arvind Kejriwal that no more ED custody is granted of his today.
So two possibilities today. That is the limited scope of today's order. Either he is sent back to ED custody or he is sent to jail, which then means that he will be in a position to apply for bail. But again, correct me if I am wrong, Brijesh, when a police force or even the CBI for that matter arrests an accused in a case, typically we've seen that they get up to 14 days of custody of an accused, and then they are usually sent, the accused is usually sent to jail by court. But this is a money laundering case. We know that, the Enforcement Directorate deals with the PMLA, the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Now, many have described this as a draconian law, which not only makes it very difficult to get bail, but would it be correct to say that if the agency, the Enforcement Directorate argues before court that it does need much longer custody of an accused for further interrogation and investigation, then it is not unusual for the court to grant them custody of the accused even beyond the 14-day period that we normally see in other cases.
Well, absolutely. There are two things. A, getting bail in PMLA is like, as you said, it's difficult. It's almost impossible to get bail. The second thing is that, yes, if the Enforcement Directorate convinces the court that, they are on the right track of recovering money, they can convince the court that, that they have, the journey they have carried so far, what it has, helped them in recovering money trail, or what they have gathered from the electronic gadgets which have been, or the electronic data which has been dumped down, then if the court is satisfied, then the court can definitely give them an extension as far as this police custody is concerned. There's no doubt about it. I think, but it is for the court to be satisfied by the investigating agency that they require more custody of the person to carry out investigation in a proper fashion, so that they are able to prove their case in the court of law. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Brijesh. For that, we'll track this story closely with you. Of course, that order is expected later today. It's a story we'll track very closely. For now, let's listen in once again to what Arvind Kejriwal said just before entering the courtroom today.
CM sir, LG is saying कि सरकार जो है वो जेल से नहीं चलेगी. What would you like to say on this? LG कह रहे सरकार जेल से नहीं चलेगी.
ये पॉलिटिकल शेड्यूल करे, जनता इसका जवाब देगी.
CM sir, LG is saying कि सरकार जो है वो जेल से नहीं चलेगी. What would you like to say on this? LG कह रहे सरकार जेल से नहीं चलेगी.
ये पॉलिटिकल